What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Decentraland. This is a crypto I would be staying away from. And I'm going to explain why, because there's a couple of concerns I have that I think make me very, very hesitant about the idea of Decentraland in terms of an investment. Also want to talk about what's coming up today, because obviously CPI data is going to be released. So we need to see what impact that's going to have on the markets, because it will have an impact. And if you're in crypto, you're going to want to know about what's going to be happening in the short term. Before I get into that though, guys, if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know me, you don't know why you should listen to me. So these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on the channel, and they were the first 26 coins I owned when I made the channel. Had you put in just $100 into each of these coins when I released videos about them, and you'd done everything wrong as an investor, you'd ignored them for 2 straight years, you'd still be in profit for like 9.2k. From a $2,600 investment, that's profit, 9.2k. Doing everything wrong. But if you'd have sold these coins last year, because remember, it's buy low, sell high. If you'd have sold these coins last year when the markets were flying, like I did, you could have made 123k from just a $2,600 investment. Staggeringly big difference between doing the right thing and the wrong thing. Now, as I said, I sold all these are not what I own. If you want to see the coins that I own, current cryptos in my portfolio, go to copymycrypto.com. The link's on the screen. On that site, I share my portfolio. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets in the short term. If that interests you, a lot of people just go on who have never invested in anything, go onto the site, copy what I'm doing. Now, as I have a history of success, I was the only YouTuber talking about Phantom in 2020. Only one. In fact, I did a dedicated Udemy course saying this is going to be the best investment of the year, 100x or more. And it did a 677x. Now, I'll find another Phantom. When I do, I'm going to go onto the site and tell the members. I'm not going to do a Udemy course like last time. So if you want to learn and get in early on one of the next big cryptos for the next bull cycle, then go read the site, guys. Go read through it. Everything on there is verifiable as well. You can go through the history of the YouTube channel and you can see that everything on there is true. So go check it out, guys. The link's on screen. Right, Decentraland. Decentraland currently priced at 37 cents, 38, call it. Market cap of 700 million. Just not reflective of what it should be, is what I would say. Decentraland is a virtual reality platform powered by Ethereum. Allows users to create, experience, and monetize content and applications. You know, it's a virtual world, it's metaverse. They launched following an ICO of 24 million in 2017. The virtual world launched its closed beta in 2019 and opened to the public in 2020. Since then, users have created a wide range of experiences on their parcels of land, including interactive games, 3D scenes, and a variety of other interactive experiences. They have 2 tokens. One is MANA, which is the Decentraland token. The other is Land. MANA is must be burnt to acquire land tokens. MANA can also be used to pay for all the things within the marketplace, whether that's avatars, wearables, whatever. And MANA is, look, it's decentralized land. It's decentralized world, virtual world. The idea is that people can earn a living through the site. And people can play the game and enjoy the game and experience a virtual world. It's very interesting as an idea, and it's very interesting because fundamentally, look, metaverse is going to be the future of the way a lot of us live. I don't like that. That's not a concept that I want to participate in. You know, I think it's a matter of time before workplaces, you've got one guy down the hall meeting another guy 2 doors down in a virtual world for a virtual cup of coffee and having a virtual conference call about the the job that they're doing in that building. You know, I think we're going to get to a ridiculous set of circumstances, and we're in the inception phase of it. You know, and like Decentraland is, you know, there are two biggest projects in terms of metaverse. One's Decentraland, one's Sandbox. Decentraland has had enormous amounts of sales in terms of the virtual land on the site. They have events on a constant basis. These events are, you know, stuff to do. Like they have fashion weeks. They have virtual shows. You know, they have really grown this, and there is something intriguing about the whole premise. You know, they've got live performances. You can go into the game, go to the live performances. There's a lot here that's fascinating. And I want to clarify, like, I'm not saying this is going to die a death or anything, but it hit heights of over $5 previously. And I still think it probably can run back to that sort of stupid level of valuation. But there's a couple of things that really don't sit well with me. And that's the statistics. So DAP.com, as an example, when you're looking at Decentraland, in terms of users, you're talking about, you know, 600, a few hundred a day. That's what you're looking at in terms of users. And in terms of transactions, again, you know, we're not seeing tons, like less than 1,000 per day most of the time. So the statistics concern me, because this is meant to be one of the most played games in the space. This is meant to be one of the big boys of the space. And if we take a look at Decentraland, you know, 300,000 holders. There's a lot of people that hold it. A lot of people that hold it. So, you know, it is played, but the statistics don't match. Also, some concerning amounts, the fact that it's like 10.5% in just one wallet. Lots of transfers. Okay. Yeah. And look, Decentraland have come out fighting in October when people started having a look, because DAP Radar said that there were effectively 23 active users, with 516 over the past 30 days. Decentraland vigorously refuted the stats, claiming the game had over 56,000 monthly active users in September. And they've pointed out some websites are tracking only specific smart contract transactions but reporting them as daily active users, which is inaccurate. They share DCL metrics, which is to do with Decentraland, and they're stating really big far bigger numbers than what is stated by DAP.com or DAP Radar. So over the past 90 days or so, you know, basically the average is apparently 7,500 a day of users. In terms of scenes visited, you're looking at 1,600. Parcels visited, you're talking about 6,500. You know, and the problem is trusting the data that anyone shares is difficult. they're stating that there were 2,500 visitors yesterday to the Genesis Plaza, which is one of the most populated scene in Decentraland. But you can check through Ice Poker, 2,200. You can check particular games. You can check particular streets. But I don't trust the data, and that's my problem here. Is even if you're working off of a basis of this data being accurate, you're also not getting people that are playing in for that long. Like number of users, 2,000, over 2,000, and then within a matter of an hour, you're down to like 400. So people aren't playing it for long if they're playing it at all, if this data is accurate. And this is a problem for me. The data doesn't align with the valuation, because even, let's say this is accurate, 7,500 users. Does that mean, do you look at that and go, okay, cool, they have 7,500 daily users, so their market cap, that's a fair valuation, is it? 700 million? Because I don't think 700 million is a fair valuation of the overall market cap of a crypto that's 7,000 people use a day. I just don't. It doesn't. The user base does not reflect the price, the valuation of Decentraland, and I just think, even in spite of the fact that that they do clearly have some users on a daily basis, I don't think the numbers match up. And that's a problem for me. If they're not matching up, then what's going on? Now, Decentraland are within Fabric Ventures portfolio, DCG and Kinetic, as well as Boost VC. They're integrated excuse me, with Polygon as well, and Solana. They're going to end up being very, 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 very multi-chain by the end, I'm sure. There's too much here that doesn't match up. There's still another 200 million coins to be released as well, 300 million rather. So when those coins are released, people will dump, so the price will drop. I still think this probably can run in price, even if the stats are not accurate, because I think there's enough hype around metaverse for the foreseeable future that something like this could probably do some, that it could still run back to maybe $5. Maybe it can, but when data doesn't match up, that's a problem for me. And yeah, for me personally, it's not one I would look at. We've seen volumes tanking over the past year, but obviously we're in a bear cycle, so you expect that. But if you're looking at gaming, crypto gaming, or a specific game, Sandbox have better partnerships. Sandbox have ties with massive companies, like some of the biggest companies in the world. That celebrities have flocked to Sandbox far more readily than they have Decentraland. Decentraland just doesn't have a valuation that's akin to the user base right now. And I think that's probably true of several games. I've spoken about this in the past with a number of different games and a number of different DeFi protocols. User base is massively important. You cannot underestimate how important it is. But Decentraland, I'd be staying away from, because the data doesn't make sense. And if the data's been spoofed, it means it probably will continue to be spoofed And I want to be clear, I still think Decentraland probably is going to run back up. But if the data isn't honest and transparent and it isn't accurate, it's more susceptible to being hit hard if things go wrong, which is why I'd stay away from it. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And actually, here's a question, right? Let's say Decentraland's stats are accurate and the stats that DCL Metrics puts out is accurate. Do you think 7,000 users per day it's fair that the resulting valuation is $700 million? Let me know in the comments down below, because that doesn't make sense to me. If you're a returning viewer as well, subscribe to the channel. The videos will make you money. You don't want to miss them. It's that simple, you know. And if you're in Decentraland and I've given you food for thought, hit the like button. Guys, if you want to see the coins I own right now, go to copymycrypto.com. On that site, I share my portfolio. Members get an update anytime I buy or sell a coin. Immediately they get an update. We have tutorials set up so that anyone that wants to get into crypto can. They just watch the tutorials. It's the same ones I send friends and family. A lot of our members have never invested in anything, so those tutorials serve them very, very well. And look, fundamentally, Copy My Crypto is where you can go on, you can see exactly what I'm saying, why I'm in the coins I'm in, and you can copy along. It's like being in class next to that smart kid in class that's getting straight A's. You copy his answers, you get the same results, but you did none of the work. I do all the work. I've been in this space for 8 years. I deep dive these coins on a daily basis, trying to find ones that I think can do massive gains. Like I said with Phantom, and I was the only YouTuber in 2020 talking about Phantom. I said it would be one of the biggest gainers. I was bang on. I'll find another, and when I do, the members are going to find out about that straight away. So if you want to get in early and make those huge profits, then go read the site, guys. The link is on screen. And last thing, CPI data is out today. CPI. So short-term rally probably. Fundamentally, look, CPI expectation, like predicted data, has been pretty inaccurate over the past year. Whenever CPI data has been released, it's been a market catalyst, and we've seen reasonably significant moves. So today, consumer data will be released, and if it's expected to show prices increase by around 7.3% in November, which is a slowing from 7.7% the previous month. Core is expected to show a 6.1% increase from the 6.3% in the prior month. So what that indicates is that the Fed's interest rate hikes have begun, or certainly they have begun working. That's what will be presented. Now, if CPI data is higher than 6.3%, if core CPI data is higher than 6.3%, if normal CPI data is higher than 7.7%, expect the markets to tank. But I would expect we're probably going to see better data than expected. 6.1%, south of 6.1%, south of 7.3%. And if that does happen, the markets will rally. We will probably see a stock market rally in and around 4 to 5%, which means Bitcoin rally could feasibly be up to anywhere from 6% up to about 10%. And obviously, if Bitcoin rallies, the overall markets will rally alongside it. But make no mistake about it, these are trading event moments. So if you're in longs or shorts, do be very, very careful, because the markets, when this data is released, will move swiftly, and there will be mass liquidations, as there always is. So don't have a position open, because you could get liquidated. And obviously this will then lead into the FOMC meeting tomorrow, and the Fed will start making policy decisions. To some degree, the CPI data will be factored in. So if the data is worse than expected, expect another 75 basis point hike, which would hit the markets quite hard in a negative way. But let's see, guys. Anyway, that's it from me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.